Good afternoon, everybody. One more video here today. Basically wanted to touch on something that I don't normally talk about here, but it's very important, and it's in regards to the pineal gland. It resides in the middle of your head, behind your frontal lobe here, a little bit down. And basically what it is all the processed foods and fluoridated water and everything, all the sodas with all the chemicals and compounds in them. Basically what they're doing is they're destroying your glandular system, and of which the pineal gland is one of the most important. It's one of the ones for insight. Basically, if any of you watched my video here about 6 months ago, I did one on the Mountain Dew that I've been drinking for 40 years. When I was 10 years old, I learned about the fluoridation in the water and quit drinking water. But even at 10 years of age, I didn't take upon the steps of learning about the new contents I was ingesting as far as fluids. And so 40 years of drinking Mountain Dew, and then finally I studied up on it and found out how bad it was. And if you get to know me, you see my skin, my arms, my chest, my face, my neck, it's all pitted because of sores that would just fester. And it was because of all the Mountain Dew I'd been drinking and certain chemicals in that Mountain Dew. And so I quit drinking Mountain Dew and I switched to juice, pure juice, 100% grapefruit, apple juice, orange juice, whatever. And that's all I ever drink anymore. I don't even drink water. I just drink juices, and they're all 100%, all natural sugars. And basically, what it's done is help my body decalcify, which is a basic problem with your glandular system when you're ingesting all the different processed foods that have all the chemicals and fillers in it. You're calcifying those glands. It's something that the body doesn't digest and push through. It stops within the body and collects up and forms a calcification. And so basically what I did was, when I did my research, I switched to juice. And in that process, actually not even part of that process, just being a bachelor and being lazy in certain attempts, or certain aspects, I would urinate in a jug sometimes, rather than having to go to the bathroom throughout the house. Go throughout the house to get to the bathroom. Being lazy in the middle of the night, I would just urinate in a jug, and then of course that jug would sit around until it got full. But in the meantime, all that shit that was in my body that did pass through my urine collected up on the sides of that bottle and showed me how much calcification was really going on. So if you do a little experiment yourself, a couple of them I want you to do is go ahead and urinate in a bottle. If you eat processed foods and drink these sodas and stuff, go ahead and urinate in a bottle. Get a nice sized bottle so that you can urinate in it and get it almost full, and let it sit and watch what happens to the inside of that bottle where the deposits collect up. And that'll show you how much your body is actually collecting inside of it and calcifying your glands and stuff. And then another little experiment I want you to do in regards to the juice, and it goes to the fermentation process, which is all natural. And basically what it is I drink a mix of apple juice and grape juice, and it's 50-50. And the yeast, the natural yeast within each juice, is fine and dandy by itself. But what happens is when you intermix them, it speeds up that fermentation process without any preservatives or anything. Again, it's 100% juice, no additives or preservatives or anything. And like I said, the different juices have different forms of yeast, and they will the yeast will interact with the sugars in there and eventually make an alcohol if you just let it sit. But when you mix the two, they're foreign yeasts to each other, and they will then compete for the sugar. And what that does, it speeds up the fermentation process. So take a couple juices, mix them together, put them in a bottle, and leave it at room temperature. Leave it at room temperature for a few days, and make sure you take a drink of it before you do this, so you taste the natural fruit flavors. And then, it's going to be it's going to be flat. But then after a few days, take a drink of it and see if you don't taste the actual natural carbonation that's going on through the act of fermentation. Because basically what it's doing is it's when yeast feeds on the sugar, its byproduct is alcohol. Now what it's doing is it's putting off that alcohol within that juice. That juice is still there, and that alcohol is actually the carbonation is actually gaseous form, and that's all it is. And so I want you to do those two experiments: urinate in a bottle and get it plenty full, and then just let it sit. Make sure it's a clear white plastic bottle, so that after you let it sit for a month or two, you can see the calcification going on in there. And then also, like I said, do a little experiment of your own with natural juices and see how that natural process works. These are things that people need to educate themselves on in order to clear up the pineal gland, so you can think more properly, so you can educate yourself more properly, so you can have that more natural insight, and possibly even help motivate yourself to learn the things that we need to learn in order to rectify the things that are wrong within our society, so that we can then turn around and teach them to our younger generation. No, that's not urine. That's apple juice and white grapefruit juice, or grape juice. This is what I drink now instead of Mountain Dew. When I learned about the fluoridation in water when I was 10 years old, I quit drinking water, and I haven't touched tap water since. However, my problem was I switched to Mountain Dew, and that Mountain Dew has things in it that are not good for you, not healthy at all. I'm 50 years old, and I got pits and pocks all over my face now, all over my neck, all over my arms, my legs, from whether it be a little blister or a little sore that got scratched or something, and then just festered because my body didn't want to heal properly. What was the juice mix? The juice mix is white grape juice and apple juice. 100% juice. No preservatives, no additives. And so basically, in my opinion, if people could just clean out their system and get off of these processed foods and all these dietary supplements and stick with the natural things, we'd be much better off. Reverse osmosis water is okay, yes. I have a still myself, a 2-gallon pressure cooker that I converted into a still with a copper stem, a copper chimney, and then the worm that goes over into a bucket of ice and water to condense the alcohol vapors. And that's what I use to make my own homemade alcohol, as well as for distilling water. When you distill water, it takes all the impurities out, heavy metals, fluoride, things like that. And that is a good way to drink water if you're going to stick with water. And remember, people, water, the original, genuine definition of water is electromagnetic energy. So, oh yeah, Charles, I make moonshine all the time. Check your state codes and statutes. Here in Iowa, it is legal to make 2 gallons of your own personal shine, as long as you're not selling it, trying to infringe upon their commerce. It is illegal to interfere with commerce. So most of your laws deal with strictly commerce. That's why we're dealing with UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. But anything else, it's pretty much up to your own discretion, as long as you use it, do things within reason, and stand by your own authority, and don't subject yourself to the statutes, codes, rules, and regulations. That's the biggest thing. So when the federal government or the state government steps in, and as far as moonshine, they really have no right unless you're interfering with commerce. I would hope so, Terry. That's some of the best stuff around. You make your own homemade moonshine. And don't get me wrong, folks. I don't make moonshine just for moonshine. I make moonshine for fuel, as a fire starter. You can put it in a regular lamp with a wick and use it as a light source. I use it as incense by adding fruits and flowers and stuff, and then put a burner under it, or put it on top of a burner. And then when it burns down a certain amount, it'll be a nice sticky fluid, and you then turn around and use that as a cough syrup, suppressant, things like that. There are many different things to use alcohol for. Antiseptic for sores and stuff like that. Fuel in motors. I've used it in my lawn equipment before, and I have put it in as a additive, just like a drying additive to dry out the moisture in your gasoline. There are all different kinds. You just have to know what you're doing and do the research to find out what it is. And those that are interested in the fuel aspect of it, is not along the lines of moonshine, but as far as getting higher fuel mileage in your cars and stuff. Check out a lady here on Facebook. Her name is Jackie Fig. Jacquuie. Jackie Fig. Figg. Check her out. She's got some posts on there about adding things to her motor that has upped the fuel mileage. So send you a small batch, huh, Charles? Tell you what, invite me down sometime. I think I'm getting ready to do some traveling, and I'm going to see how many people have their doors open, and I'm willing to educate on a lot of different things. So maybe we can get together someday, and I'll just personally show you. That way we can have a tasting session. So, but yeah, check out your statute codes and rules and regulations stuff in regards to moonshine. But back to the pineal thing, I think that's the most important thing that we can do as far as health-wise, is to clear up our mind, is to clear up our body. In order to be able to think right, we have to quit taking in all these processed foods and fillers and chemicals and additives to our drinks and everything, and quit believing and trusting in restaurants and stuff like that. Make sure your gut health is good. You got to have good, healthy bacteria. Bacteria is not a bad thing. You have to have good, healthy bacteria in your gut in order to digest properly. And when you're ingesting these processed foods and everything, it's destroying the bacteria, because the bacteria cannot feed on certain things. It has to have things that it can feed on to subsist within your system, so that it can do its job as part of your body. It's just like the cannabinoids, the CB1s and CB2s that are inherent within us, that society is, the secular society has over time restricted and constricted and pretty much dissipated from our society and made it illegal. But you have to understand that the cannabidiol oil is pertinent to our system. It's part of our immune system. It helps fight off cancer. So we have to start educating ourselves in all aspects of life. And I think the most important thing in order to do that, the first step, is to clear up the body so you can clear up your pineal gland, as well as all your other glands. Your glandular system is the main portion of your immune system, and that's the only way we can stay healthy. Good job, Sam. Do the juice every day. Stay away from that water, brother. Tap water, anyway. Let's see here. What'd you say, Les? Let's see. Wes says, sorry to ask off topic, but how far have you gotten with the private travel in personal transport? Well, as you can see, though I don't have a license and I no longer have a car or truck of my own, I have people that do, through barter and trade, allow me to use their travel methods to get where I need to go. And as long as they don't pull me over for bullshit, then I shouldn't have any problem with it for now. But like I said in another video earlier, I'm still having a hard time getting my status corrected because they won't accept my filings for free. They want to charge me, and I don't have any faith in the monetary system that has no value, and I do not have to use it. So I refuse to use it as much as possible, except for the doctrine of necessity, and I might have to apply that in order to file these, or I do have a document I'm drawing up as far as HDR 192, affidavit discharge of legal tender, which is already on the public record through somebody else, and I'm just amending it to my personal use, and hopefully get that sent in or filed, so that they will then turn around and accept the rest of my filings. I don't know exactly how to work it yet because there is no working model right now. That's what we're all trying to do, is provide a working model. And it's so hard to get there when we have so many people that are trying and being unsuccessful in this way or that way, or somebody tries and is successful, and then somebody tries that same way and they're not successful. You know, it's a matter of touch and go. We got to keep trying. If we give up, then we give up on our next generation. That's why I say, for those people that want to sit on your couch and run your mouth and tell me I need to do this or do that or do this or do that, I don't care to listen to you most of the time, because I'm going to do what I need to do, period. And that's experience. It's the only true teacher of knowledge is experience. So be done with that. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I just wanted to put another quick video out there about the pineal gland and the process of fermentation and calcification, and how all these processed foods and everything work in your body, and the importance of getting rid of it. Just like we need to get rid of this legal society and its bullshit and revert back to natural law, we need to get rid of the processed foods and all the fillers and everything and revert back to natural foods. So hopefully this message gets out there and people will listen. People will comprehend, and then people will take action, because it's the only way it's going to happen, period. You have to take action one way or another. If you think somebody else is going to take action for you, you're wrong. They're taking action for themselves, and that's it, period. You have to do it yourself. In the meantime, again, if it weren't for you people, I wouldn't be here. God bless. Love y'all. Have a great day.